As videos emerge of minorities being abused by some of the extreme rebel factions in Syria, the question of the Kurdish minority in the eastern part of the country arises stronger than ever. In a conversation organized by Jadalia Bloom, director of the Heartland Initiative, the Jerusalem Post spoke to Sash, a Kurdish organizer and political activist from eastern Syria, to hear more about the challenges and opportunities faced by this large ethnic minority. "I am a Kurdish media producer, but for the past 10 years, I've had to put that aside to help my people, particularly in foreign policy," Sash began. "It hasn't been an easy journey. I want to say up front that I'm a proud Zionist, and most Kurds are. We love Israel. We don't even need to explain everything happening in the Middle East to show who we stand with and who we don't. Our alliance with Israel is natural, rooted in history and thousands of years of friendship." In a broader context of her work, Sash commented, "I was born in Syrian Kurdistan, and over the past 10 years, we have created our own forces, taken control of 35% of Syria's territory, and gained control of 90% of its resources." Syrian Kurds stand next to the destroyed statue of Bashar al-Assad, the late elder brother of Syria's President Bashar al-Assad, as they celebrate the fall of capital Damascus to anti-government fighters, in the city of Qamishli on December 8, 2024. "We surely suffered under the Assad regime, but Iran had no control over these areas until the Turks started to attack. Over the years, we faced continuous attacks from the Syrian regime, ISIS, Iran, and Turkey," she continued. "Turkey pulls the strings. Let me be clear. I'm not asking for anyone to help us establish a Kurdish state. We will do that on our own when the time is right. And I'm not here to advocate for dragging Israel or anyone else into a war with Turkey. That's not what this is about. What I want to discuss is Turkey's role in destabilizing the region and how that impacts both us and Israel." Sash explained, "Over the last decade, we've managed to fight ISIS successfully and expel them from our region. We've established governance, education systems, and law enforcement. For example, we've removed anti-Semitic subjects from our school curricula. Despite this, the UN, driven by Turkish pressure, refuses to recognize our educational system and documentation," she said, denouncing the UN for supporting scams and terrorist groups like Hamas but refusing to acknowledge Kurdish governance. "Our region has been the only safe place in Syria for a decade. There was no Syrian regime, no ISIS, no Iranian forces. It's a haven for over 6 million people, including Kurds, Assyrians, Christians, and others," added Sash. "The challenges that the Kurds in Syria face come from a three-pronged monster. Turkey continues its aggression against us, attacking monthly to take our territory and give it to the Syrian regime or Iran. Many don't understand that Turkey, Iran, and the Syrian regime are deeply interconnected. Turkey claims to support Syrian opposition groups, but 3 or 4 months later, those areas usually fall under the control of Iranian loyalists. This has been the pattern for years," said Sash. "An example is Kurdish success against adversaries. Recently, we took control of a critical border area that serves as a life source for Iranian forces. It's the road that connects Tehran to Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. Taking this area disrupted their weapon supply routes, but now we are under attack from all sides. Turkey, Iran, the Syrian regime, and ISIS are all working together. If it weren't for coalition air support, Turkey would have ensured that ISIS and Iran kept their hold on the area," explained Sash. The Kurdish activist emphasized the importance of understanding these developments beyond the Kurdish struggle. "You may think, why should we care about what's happening in northern Syria? But this isn't just our problem, it's Israel's problem, too. 4 days ago, delegates from Iran, Turkey, and Russia met. Following that meeting, Abu Mohammed al-Julani, the leader of the Syrian opposition, publicly stated he had no issues with Iran. That's a clear sign that Iran is now aligning with opposition groups, just as they control Hamas, which is also a Sunni group. The same Hamas that Israel is fighting is part of this broader network." Sash issued a stark warning. Yesterday, jihadists declared their caliphate in Damascus. Some even announced that their mission would extend from Damascus to Jerusalem. "This is a direct threat to Israel," she stressed, warning that Turkey and Iran are planning to use Syria as a launchpad to target Israel. Don't believe the attempts to paint these jihadists as moderate, warned Sash. There are many videos showing beheadings of Arabs who dared to work with the Kurds. ISIS doesn't operate like a conventional army, it's an ideology. They use the internet to recruit and radicalize. This poses a danger to Jordan, the West Bank, Arab Israelis, and Israel itself. Ignoring it won't make it go away. Turning to the idea of Kurdish independence, Sash highlighted that Kurdistan is geographically divided among four countries: Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. Within each country, Kurds occupy strategic locations. Despite being physically divided, the dream of a Kurdish state lives in every Kurd. We've proven we can establish governance and autonomy, but oppressive regimes block our progress. For example, when Iraqi Kurdistan sought independence, Turkey and others closed their airports and borders, isolating them. We can only achieve independence when Erdogan and the Iranian regime are weakened. Sash also voiced some criticism of Israeli officials for their lack of public engagement with Kurdish leaders. Why hasn't Israel met with even one Kurdish official? Is it because of Turkey's sensitivities? Israel shouldn't allow the jihadists to fool them. Let me be blunt, it's disappointing. We're your allies, like family, yet Israel looks elsewhere for partnerships. We don't need Israel to go to war for us or establish our state, we'll do that ourselves. But we do need political support. Israel can call Washington, push for a no-fly zone to counter Turkey's NATO-produced drones, and pressure Turkey to stop its aggression. A single statement from the US can change everything. Why isn't this happening? Sash added that US forces were never under threat in the Kurdish-controlled areas, as opposed to other places. Also, Sunnis who were under our areas also de-radicalized and developed a more democratic-oriented culture, she stressed. Sash also highlighted the economic potential of the Kurdish regions. We control vast oil and gas resources but are forced to sell them on the black market because the international community won't engage with us, Sash added, pointing again to the appeasement of Turkey and claiming that Iran is ultimately the one who benefits from this arrangement. Israel and Europe could help us develop our resources legitimately, benefiting both of us and weakening Iran. Speaking of Iran, Sash stressed that the Islamic regime thrives with chaos, claiming that they would have Israel and the West be occupied with Syria while running ahead to complete their nuclear program. They'll create an ISIS state on Israel's border and watch Israel cope with it while going on with their business, she warned. As for the possibility of a federal solution for Syria, Sash expressed openness to it, provided it includes autonomy for Kurds and other groups like the Druze. She stressed the importance of building alliances and pushing back against jihadist forces to stabilize the region. The Kurds share your values of freedom and democracy, Sash continued. In October 2023, during Israel's darkest hours, Kurdish commanders sent messages saying, "We are ready to help. We stand by Israel, but Israel must recognize the opportunity we present." This isn't just about helping the Kurds, it's about securing Israel and the West. We must act before it's too late. Sash concluded, this is a critical moment. If we don't act, jihadist forces supported by Iran and Turkey will continue to gain strength. We have the resources, the determination, and the willingness to fight for our future. But we need allies who are willing to stand with us openly and decisively.